Welcome back to Media Anarchy. I'm Captain Obvious. This will be the last video in the 6-part series, Understanding the New World Order and its the New World Order activities and updates 2019. This last report will be about the One World Government. If you have not seen the previous, I suggest you go back and check those out. This series is a compiled list of research investigations showing evidence to support the claims that we've heard since the 40s and 50s. And this last one's going to have some live evidence that this has all taken place. The second half of the 6-part series is the three most important ones: the one world religion, the one world government, the one world currency. That's what all this is building up to, the New World Order. Okay? It's very spooky and very dangerous stuff when you dig into the agendas, the Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21, Georgia Guidestones. If you look on my homepage of Media Anarchy, scroll down to hard and soft disclosure, you'll have a better understanding. There's a video in soft disclosure, or hard disclosure, I believe. Yes, it's in my hard disclosure list. It says Agenda 21 for Dummies. And they are doing it, and it's scary shit. So let's just get right to what today's about. So to start off, I want to just go over a few things that was left out of the One World Currency video, because I had rolled over to evidence for the One World Government, so I had to edit it and take some of that out. I didn't want that video to be an hour long. Plus, it had a lot of stuff that belongs in this one and that one. So this one here is going to be a lot about the things that are taking place. Now, one of the things the One World Government is going to consist of is manipulating the populace, manipulating the people through predictive programming. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. I'll give you a brief layman's terms what predictive programming is. There's a movie that Will Smith was in. I have a video of that in my investigative research that shows how you can predict how people are going to think and respond, feeding them nonsense. And the media's controlled opposition. So the CIA admits to Congress the agency uses mainstream media to distribute disinformation. This article first published on GR in August of 2015. It tells us a trail of media disinformation by the United States government apparatuses. It has been verified by a source who claims she was there that then CIA Director William Casey did in fact say the controversial and often disputed line, "We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false." And that he was reportedly said that in 1981. Okay? Now, here is live evidence. So let me play this for you.
I thought that it was a matter of real concern that planted stories intended to serve a national purpose abroad came home and were circulated here and believed here, because this would mean that the CIA could manipulate the news in the United States by channeling it through some foreign country. Now we're looking at that very carefully.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks.
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
At CBS, we had been contacted by the CIA. As a matter of fact, by the time I became the head of the whole News and Public Affairs operation in 1954, the ships had been established, and I was told about them and asked if I'd carry on with them. We have quite a lot of detailed information, and we will evaluate it, and we will include any evidence of wrongdoing or any evidence of impropriety in our final report and make recommendations.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the National News Services, AP and UPI?
Well, again, I think we're getting into the kind of detail, Mr. Chairman, that I'd prefer to handle in executive session.
So, questions were, do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation, American Journal? Answer was, we do have people submitting pieces to American journals. Next question was, do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? Answer was, yes. Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the national services, AP and UP? Well, again, yes. So this goes on about how they're propagating this whole thing. When we talk about a one world government, I will harken back to the Bilderberg Group, and I'll get into that in a minute. But the Bilderberg Group is comprised of members of the secret societies, Skull and Bones, Illuminati, Freemasons, 33 Degrees, the Majestic 12, you know, the ones that hid all Eisenhower's doings with aliens. There would be no reason to hide it if they didn't exist. People just don't want to accept the truth. So, all that exists. Well, these people are also members, board members of the controlling banks that own the Federal Reserve, which controls the monetary system, which controls the corporates, which controls the banks, which controls things that we use, commodities, controls the relationships with other countries in our imports and exports, trickling down to we, the people. Okay, and I'll get into that in just a moment. So what is the one world government and who's going to run it? The global state, the world empire, or the United States of Earth? World government and global government, or cosmocracy, is the notion of a common political authority for all humanity, given way to a global government and a single state that exercises authority over the entire world. Such government could come into existence either through violent and compulsory world domination or through peace and voluntary supernatural union. There has never before been a worldwide executive, legislative, judiciary, military constitution with global jurisdiction. The United Nations beyond the United Nations Security Council, which has the ability to issue mandatory resolutions, is limited. So, this is that video I spoke of. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you.
Sustainable development has become the popularized expression for Agenda 21. Agenda 21 is the 1992 United Nations Rio Declaration on the Environment and Development.
It is the agenda for the 21st century you're living in today. For a brave new world where everything that you cherished and held true will no longer exist.
Agenda 21 defines itself as the comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations systems.
It also elevates nature above man. And it contains something called the precautionary principle, where basically you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Sustainable development is the philosophy designed to bring human beings across the globe under the full control of a narrow human elite.
It's a 40-chapter document to basically control the world. It's based entirely on socialist control mechanisms.
Sustainable developers have designed a global movement coordinated through a global to local action plan to create world government in accordance with certain objectives. These objectives include an end to national sovereignty, the abolition of private property, the restructure of the family unit, and increasing limitations and restrictions on mobility and individual opportunity. The Green Goal includes the listings of what's not sustainable. A couple of the examples include private property,
728 lists fossil fuels,
golf courses and ski lodges are not.
consumerism,
Irrigation is not sustainable.
paved roads,
Commercial agriculture,
herbicides, pesticides. Elsewhere, it lists farmlands, pastures, grazing of livestock.
and the family unit. The focus of sustainable development is the abolition of private property, societal undermining of the family, and abandonment of the constitutional protection of unalienable rights as described in the Declaration of Independence. You see, I sat on the Santa Cruz Agenda 21 committees. Now, this was a lot of crazy ideas. This was back in the mid-90s. Crazy ideas.
How old it is?
Mother Earth's surface wasn't to be scratched. Human beings were to be concentrated into human settlement zones. Educational systems were to focus on the environment as the central organizing
Strong Cities
principle.
Network.
All aspects of life were covered. Well, I went to these committees to request some people who told me that I needed to understand what was going on, and I came back and I said, this is craziness. This is so silly. It has no chance of having any effect on our society. Well, I was wrong. The United States government's support for Sustainable Development Agenda 21 is very clear. In 1992, while the Rio Conference was going on, George Bush, then president, was there where he executed the Agenda 21 protocols on behalf of the United States.
And he announced the New World Order.
And brought it back to Washington, D.C. Within a year, Bill Clinton, by executive order, no congressional review, established the President's Council for Sustainable Development. In Santa Cruz, we've got a 2-lane freeway system. We need 4, but what we're getting is hundreds of millions of dollars of federal money to take a dilapidated rail line that Southern Pacific wants to put in the hands of somebody else so that a commuter line can be built along the railroad track. That'll be followed by 14-story buildings where people will live in stack them and pack them units, where developers or so-called sustainable developers will build these high rises with federal dollars. In fact, Santa Cruz has received a $300 million federal grant to build the first 3,000 of these stack them and pack them units. The County Board of Supervisors said, if you are a sustainable developer, you're immune from any construction defect liability. It's a partnership between selected developers building this new world order and the government using the American taxpayer dollars in order to do it.
Then he goes on to show the map of the sustainable development where you're not going to be able to live. No humans can be there. It goes on to show the Strong Cities Network where everybody's compacted into these small units in the cities. So you wonder, what are they going to do with these houses? Well, by 2050, they want to be done with all the houses. They want to get rid of them all. In a nature-based kind of way, it's a good thing. But how they're going to get there, I'm not even going to touch that. You can look that up for yourself. You can find where all the guillotines are being stored down in Atlanta. You can find where the millions of coffins are stored down there by the Georgia Guidestones. You can look that up for yourself. So, next. We've all heard what the Bilderberg Group is. They are a world think tank. Sorta, kinda, the way I perceive the one world government to be like. They get together every 4 years. I personally believe they get out the Illuminati tarot deck and they deal out, each person gets 3 cards. Then they go around the table and everybody flips their cards over. And whatever 3 cards that person has, that's the 3 events that take place shortly afterwards during the next 2 or 4 years. Okay, that's just what I've seen investigating and researching the Illuminati tarot deck from 1994. Okay, Agenda 21 was created in 1994. The Illuminati tarot deck was created in 1994. You can find cards minted in 1994 that show events that take place today. Seriously, Trump's in there, and Julian Assange is in there. Even Alex Jones of InfoWars is in there. From a tarot deck in 1994. Basically, people look at it as wicked, witchy kind of prediction of the future. And it wasn't. It's the plan of the future hidden in plain sight in a deck of conspiracy theory playing cards. And people bought it. Truth is, it was real. And I think the Bilderberg Group, they pass out these cards. I could be wrong. I don't know. They're probably laughing at me right now. It's not what we do. We actually sit down and decide who dies next. That's not funny, but you get my point. So, all these people, Henry Kissinger, this global warming guy, it's all false. Bilderberg Group meets once a year now. The last meeting, blah, 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 blah. Founded by an ex-Nazi who was also an agent for the Vatican. Now, this gets even deeper because now the Vatican's involved. And we know about them sons of bitches, don't we? Okay? They send these priests out in the world molesting little children and kidnapping people. Look at the 300 busted in Pennsylvania. Where are they at now? Oh, they're protected. They're protected. They're actually working at other churches. Wouldn't step foot in an evil, wicked building with religion in it. Okay? Vatican also has a giant throne. You can look this up for yourself. It is Lucifer's throne. Okay? There's also a lot of symbols inside the Vatican City that depict inverted pentagrams, inverted crosses, Masonic symbols, Illuminati symbols, all that shit. Not including the building I showed you in the last video that was deliberately designed to look like the head of a reptile. And that's another part of how religion was weaved into this. Now, how do you connect the dots between Lucifer, reptilians, aliens? How do you connect those dots? Well, look at the Buddha. You ever seen a Buddhist temple? Looks just like a UFO with the door open and steps going in. And in the center is this statue that they worship. Now it's a robot. Japan's been doing it. They have a robot, transhumanism, telling them what to believe and how to worship it. So who do you think is going to be at the head of the one world religion, the one world government, the one world currency? And somebody's got to be the leader of the New World Order. There's going to be a leader. Do you think it's going to be like a demon out of the Bible? I don't. There's evidence to prove that. Do you think it's going to be, an antichrist like it says in the Torah? No. How about something out of the Quran? No. This is beyond our understanding because people don't want to accept that aliens are real. And they're not really Hollywood-esque. That's a distraction. What Hollywood is presented as aliens, UFOs, and people from other planets, that's a distraction. I think it's going to be more along the lines of Star Trek-y, where these people don't look like they're still humanoid, but they don't they don't look like bald-headed, almond-eyed, freaky demons. They could. I don't believe it. Now, the Vatican's involved in this, the creation of the Bilderberg Group. Vatican's involved, so you know it's evil automatically. And it's run by a Nazi. Clintons are involved, they're members. Here you have the ones who of the world. These are all the princes and princesses and all the elites from around the world that are part of this. Look at these little kids. They're next in line. Angela Merkel, Beatrix of the Netherlands, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. Bill Gates! Carl Charles, Prince of Wales, Charles Rose, Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, David Cameron, Dora Paconis, Enoch Powell, Vauda Jama. See, I can't read. Some of these are hard to pronounce for me. George Soros. George Soros is a Bilderberger. George Soros, yes, your GMO guy. The guy putting chemicals in your food. He's part of the Bilderberg Group. Okay? I'm just Peter Sutherland. Peter Sutherland, you know who Sutherland is. Let's just keep looking. Sandy Berger. I'm just trying to look at all this. Now, this is probably the most interesting of all. This lady, you know who she is. She's the queen. I've done some research on her, some homework, and this woman has not changed in almost 50 years. Still has the same number of wrinkles under her eyes. Okay? Still has the same aging. Her appearance has not changed in 50 years. And every time I see her, her eyes are black. Well, that's a demon. Maybe. James Warburg, the Council on Foreign Relations, he said to the Senate of Foreign Relations Committee, this is his words, "We shall have a world government, whether or not you like it, by conquest or consent." So either way, when Bush announced, "We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and future generations a new world order, when we are successful, and we will be..." So they're going to do it whether you like it or not. Whether it's conquest, which means destroy everything, or you bow down to the leper Messiah. They're going to have it. Now, I'm not a Democrat either. I can't stand that. It's all division. I can't stand either party. They're both full of shit. Okay, they're all in on it. The elites are in on it together. They're all part of it. It's a brainwashing division scheme. Okay? So I'm not like bashing Trump supporters. I actually was for him in the beginning. There was reason for that. But then the truth came out. I'm not for him anymore. Get it? Yes, I'm not voting because I know my votes don't matter. I've proved that myself. I already know that. So why would I waste my time? I already knew they were going to give it to him. I already knew that. Because whoever gets the highest popular vote will not be president. Because I know the conspiracy. I know it's a fact. It's set up that way. The Electoral College was created to pick the president, period. Doesn't matter if you vote or not. I already know that. We already know that. We've been over that 100 times, showed the proof and the evidence. Okay? We've been over that. So, I already knew he was going to be president. As soon as I seen Hillary Clinton got all the votes of the people, we the people are supposed to be voting for the president. We chose... We the people, not me, but we the people picked Hillary and they gave it to Trump. Electoral College. Every president since the birth of 1776 and the independence, okay, every president was selected by the Electoral College because the Electoral College is the backup to the New World Order to make sure that their puppets get into power. Okay? In order to accept the fact that your vote doesn't count, doesn't mean shit, and that these puppets will always be chosen by, or selected by the Electoral College, in order to accept that truth, you have to accept the facts of the New World Order. the one world religion, the one world government, the one world currency, which is true. They've already admitted that that's what they're doing in Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and they stuck it in our face on the Georgia Guidestones in 4 different languages. If that's not enough evidence, then they're right. Everybody are dumbed down and brainwashed and stupid. Trump has fudged everything up. But I don't believe it was his fault. Oh my God, you're confusing everyone, Captain. He's a selected puppet of the shadow government that controls and runs everything. They operate from the shadows. You don't know who they are. I mean, conspiracy theorists will tell you who they are. Research investigators will try to validate who they are. But because, like the voting process, the U.S. government says, the reason why we have the Electoral College, because the average American citizen does not retain the mentality to make important decisions for the government. So, the vote of we the people will never, ever, ever elect a president. It will always be the Electoral College. When you vote for an elector. And that elector reserves the right to say, you know what, I don't like the way my state voted. I'm going to vote the way I want. And guess what? They legally have every right to do so. So even if, doesn't matter who you vote for, they're going to pick who they want every time. And because of that mental chaos understanding, that's the same reason that these supporters always attack people who speak the truth, because they don't have the mentality to understand or reckon the number of the beast. And I saw a C-SPAN segment here about 2 weeks ago where somebody in the Republican Party said secretly the Republicans want him out. All the Republicans want him out. Not just Democrats. Republicans do too. Everybody wants him out. But here's the thing. There's good. I've said a million times on this channel, there's good and bad people in everything. Church, religion, politics. All the good people just stepped down, resigned, and quit within the last 72 hours of the government. All these people started stepping down, quitting, retiring after the Trump-Ukraine thing. Because a lot of truth started coming out. And they started to realize there is a shadow government. There are elites controlling things. And the secret society members have infiltrated both sides of the political aisle. We're fools. We've been fooled. Time to wake up and walk away. And I welcome anybody to find evidence. And I don't say this often enough, but this entire New World Order series, I welcome or even challenge anyone to dig up some evidence and debunk the whole damn thing. Prove me wrong. I do not, and I've said this a million times, I do not want to be right about this stuff. But when I approach things like a detective and I present them as an attorney, I have to make sure I have solid evidence. That's why I'm doing these desktop videos, to show the evidence that I'm working with to support my claims. Can you debunk them? I can't. I've tried. I hope you learned something today, and I hope I opened your eyes and ears. I hope you woke up, and I hope you do your own homework.